be seen at the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Indiana, August 15th and 16th. Making her Tonight Show debut, please welcome the very funny Olivia Carter.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. This is cool. I have a boyfriend. Nice. Yeah, it's cool. It's nice not to have a one that got away. I do have a few that got out. You know, one time I asked out my personal trainer, and he said, "Sorry, I'm not attracted to you." And I was like, "Well, whose fault is that?" Kind of feel like you should sleep with me or give me my money back. And then the last guy I was seeing, he was really close to his ex because they were still dating. And I know that men have a hard time with it too. One of my male friends was like, "I haven't gotten laid in 9 months." And I was like, "Oh, were you pregnant?" You know? And he was like, "No, my grandma died." And I was like, "Oh, you guys sound like you were really close." And then he was like, "When's the last time you got laid?" And I was like, "Honestly, last night." My grandma's still alive, so. I also don't really understand the rules. Like, clap if you feel like on the first date, the man should pay. Okay. All right. Okay. You have jobs. All right. I think in this modern world, it should just be the person who's trying to sleep with the other person. Yeah, the man. You know? And then if 2 women go out, the waiter pays. And if 2 guys go out, my dad loses his mind. I used to work at an STD center. Maybe some of you recognize me. It was fun. Whenever the women would come in, I would ask for their ID, insurance card, and also a picture of the guy. Because I can tell you what you have from that. This one girl was like, "I don't know, he had a mullet." You don't have much time left. And that was back home. I'm originally from Kansas. And I remember one year in middle school, all the guys got together and they made a master list of who had the best butts. And it was a good way to learn about Excel. No, what happened actually is a teacher found the list of female students' names and then he figured out what it was. Which is weird. He was like, "I wasn't sure at first, so then I made my own list." Same list. And growing up, I had really bad anxiety. And in the Midwest, they didn't really have the dialogue for mental health problems. They're just kind of like, "She's creative." Like, I just started going to therapy. You know you can lie in there. Yeah, she's like, "What do you want to talk about today?" And I'm like, "My engagement? Haha." She's so stupid. But one thing that I do really admire is like the mental strength of a Midwestern grandpa. You know how they aren't allowed to be sad because that would have been gay? Like, my grandpa was in the war, so my whole childhood, he was like, "My generation bore the burden of war. You know, what trauma does your generation have to deal with?" And I'm like, "I don't know, hearing about the war all the time?" Yep. I know more about World War II than my own anatomy. Men will ask me what I like in bed, and I just say, "I don't know, when Japan surrendered." And they're like, "No, role play." And I'll be like, "Okay, I'm Mussolini." I've been bad. And my brother still lives at home. He just got engaged. I don't really like his fiance. I talk about it a lot publicly. Yeah, she hasn't worked in 2 years because she's trying to write a children's book. And that can't take more than an hour. Yeah, and I know she doesn't like me either because she's always like, God, you're so thin. And I'm like, so are children's books. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to ruin their wedding. And I've decided I'm going to lose a concerning amount of weight. Like a conversation's worth amount of weight. And I'm going to roll up there like, I'm on a hunger strike. Into the children of America, get a new book. I'm Olivia Carter, thank you.
Well done. Fantastic, man. Thank you. Olivia Carter! See her at the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Indiana, August 15th and 16th. We'll be right back, everybody.